Hello and welcome to the first chapter of Babies of the Storm. I call it Chapter 1. Laning, not Lanning, and XP. And my coach for this evening is the one and only Philip Canada. Philip Canada, say hello to everyone.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate you asking me to come on and sort of guide you, albeit, I'm not promising anything. I'm not saying you're going to BlizzCon in 2018 as a competitor, but
I might.
will do my best. Yeah, who knows? You got a whole year to practice up, a year and some change.
And I do definitely want to go to BlizzCon, so that would hopefully help me out if I could.
Yeah, exactly. If you just went there.
Yeah. So what is Heroes of the Storm? What are we doing here?
So Heroes of the Storm is a MOBA from Blizzard Entertainment, and it's a culmination of all their different properties where they take characters from them and put them into this game. The game is comprised of heroes, and your overall goal is to kill the core. Each team has a core, and the map is variable with different objectives to help you attack that core.
Okay, okay.
At the end of the day, there is sort of some essential keys to being able to kill the core. And we're going to begin with laning it in XP, which I think is the most paramount, the most important one that you need to learn in order to begin your journey in Heroes of the Storm, or in the Nexus, as they like to call it.
Okay. So you can look at my heroes here on my screen. I've played a decent chunk, but, I use mostly my inherent drilled in Dota skills as opposed to my relearned Heroes of the Storm skills. So I'm really excited about learning how to actually play this game and to be helpful as opposed to being the heal guy that just is just fine. But all right, what do I need to do? What's step one? What am I doing?
So let's kind of talk about that. You play Dota pretty regularly, from what I remember you telling me.
Yeah, back in the day, while I wasn't hardcore good, I was pretty decent and played with people that were very, very good.
Okay, well that's awesome, because that's going to give you a good baseline of where your mechanics are very good already.
Yes.
I came into this game not knowing anything about, never having played a MOBA before, and I've only been playing this game for about a year now. Mm-hmm. I think, yeah, a little bit over a year now. So my mechanics were basically pretty new. So I maybe won't touch on that as much because you have some of these mechanics already ingrained to you just by virtue of playing a different game, and that goes for League of Legends, Dota. Those are the kind of bigger ones. If you have played that game, you kind of know what attacking is and when to use abilities and such like that. But Heroes of the Storm is different than those games in certain regards. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to jump into a custom game.
Okay.
Oh, can you actually make me party leader, please?
Sure. I assume I right-click on your name.
Indeed
remove from party? Just kidding. Little joke for you.
That would be funny if you actually did. Be like, well, I'm going home.
Okay.
Right, so
this is an easy one.
We are going to Tomb of the Spider Queen. And there it's loading. Perfect.
Wow.
I'm gonna throw you on the other team. Sorry.
Oh,
buddy.
No. I'm going to punch the hell out of you.
Oh, beans. Okay, so now we're actually going to be in a lobby. So why don't you go ahead and select Avala as your character?
And that's with a V. I found her. I've never played this person before. She seems scary.
It'll be fine. It'll be 100% fine.
I have a skull outfit of hers. Is that a good one to go with?
Yeah, throw that on.
All right.
I think Vala has some of the best skins in this game.
Okay. I'm going to go...
There are some supremely good skins, but I really enjoy this one.
All right. Well, let me pick my banner, go the Horde, crest, my animated Lich King, and I don't have an announcer. So let's... Okay, I'm ready.
Wait, you don't have any announcers?
No.
Oh my goodness gravy. All right.
Sorry.
It's fine. I'm not, announcer shaming you. I was just...
Are you mad at me?
You've already failed the first lesson, but that's fine. We'll move on. We'll start chapter 2 here. Chapter 1 was having an announcer.
Fuck.
All right, we're going to start this game.
I'm ready.
And we're going to go into a custom game immediately because this is the best way to learn, quite frankly. We're not going to have any teammates if I set that up correctly, which I did. Hell yeah.
Nice job.
So, I did one thing right today.
So this is sort of like what you would do if you have a basic idea of what MOBAs are, and then you're like, okay, I want to practice by myself. So you would go into this custom game with a hero such as Vala if you want to follow along at home.
Exactly. If you would like to practice, Heroes of the Storm is very good about introing you, where it will teach you how to play against AI. They'll throw you, I think, most of the time into a game with other people, other actual humans on your team, and then you'll be facing AI for, you know, a certain amount, and it'll lead you through kind of what to do in a game.
Okay.
And it's going to put you first into the game when you begin playing it onto the same map, because that is one thing that is different, is that there are a lot of maps in this game. So come to middle lane, perfect. And we're just going to hang out here for a second, because this is the most important part, or not the most important part, but this is where our lesson begins. And so basically kind of stand off to the side of the lane. Yeah, throw that spray down there.
I'm winning.
Okay. So as we can see, there are minions here. And
yes.
they are meeting in lane, and they are killing each other. This is kind of a standard thing about
MOBAs. Oops.
No, you're fine. That's fine. It's totally okay. What you can notice is at the very top of your screen in the dead center, there is a box that says 1 above each of us, and it's slowly ticking up. That is because we are standing within range of minions gathering XP.
Gotcha. And I'm winning because I shot twice.
Yeah, the minion died a little bit quicker in kind of because of that.
And remember
so
that team.
Here, yeah, we're not doing anything, but we're still collecting XP. We could sit here and do this until we're level 25 or 30 or whatever, but it'd be very boring.
Let's do that.
Okay, let's just do this. But as you can see, the minions will basically just kill each other. You don't have to do anything, and they will die, and these lanes will stay at the middle. However, if I'm going to begin killing you...
Whoa!
Yep. Oh, I gotta get the hot pursuit. Here, let me just kill your lane real quick. Don't kill my lane. I need a show.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Perfect. You're good. Alright, so as these minions go away, the minions will attack the nearest thing within range, which is most likely going to be these towers. Structures get in the way of your core, and there are, on most maps, on most maps there are forts and keeps. Forts are the first line of defense, keeps are the second ones. The reason why they're different is because they provide a different amount of XP, as well as begin lane pushes in a certain way. So if you take out a fort, it's worth a certain amount of XP. Just know that it's a lot.
Got it.
If you take out a keep, it's worth way more XP than a fort.
Okay.
And it will also spawn catapults. So that lane will have an extra minion in it, and a very powerful minion at that.
Oh, okay.
It will push that lane and basically push it to core if uncontested.
Interesting. So the tower that I'm standing under right now is a fort, and if you destroy it, your side is stronger and gets catapults?
We would have to first destroy the fort, then the keep, which is the second tier.
Oh, wowie.
Yeah.
Got it.
Missile turrets, or these towers at the very front, are also worth a certain amount of XP. I'm going to get out of lane here.
I'm excited. I was beating you.
You were beating me. So those are also worth XP. And as you'll notice, the one on the bottom side of yours has drained. Basically, they have a set amount of ammunition that they can shoot. And as you kill your enemy's wave, it will push up against that wall and fire. If it's out of ammo, then that tower is basically going to go down. It does regen some ammunition, but at a very slow rate. So right now you can see it's kind of popped back up to 2 shots within there.
Okay.
However, if I just keep pushing, I will take that down eventually.
Well, that's not fair.
It's not. You can also see that now I am level 4 and you are level 3.
Oh, hell!
At the very top, I'm kind of glowing because that means that there is a talent tier advantage to myself.
Oh.
We're going to talk about this a little bit later, but levels and talent tiers come at 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, and 20.
And that's all right down here, because I haven't picked my first talent, because I was just waiting, making sure there's nothing that you want me to do specific.
Take anything you want.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm going the hatred build.
Ooh, very nice. That is one of my favorites.
Ooh, wow.
All right. So do you have any questions about this so far?
So far, no. You've actually told me a lot of things I didn't exactly know. I think one thing for folks who maybe are used to other MOBAs, I don't know how League of Legends works, but your entire team shares the XP equally. So that's our team's level right up here, not my level, so to speak.
That is correct. So if we had more members on our team, which we don't just because this is the way I set it up.
And we don't need them, really.
Yeah, exactly. It's just us. We're the best, so we don't need them. There are 3 waves here, or I'm sorry, 3 lanes, and those will basically yield the same results whether you're in mid, top, or bottom. In this case, stand at the top lane and get the same amount of XP as Tim standing in the middle or the bottom. All right. So, what is important to know about where the minions meet is that they will always meet in the center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the creep line. That's pretty normal, I think, if MOBA's correct.
Yeah, that is. That's pretty common. But what this can give you is this imaginary line that it is dangerous to cross.
Yes.
So if I'm on this side, you have a significant better chance to kill me than if I was on my own side. So that's a good example. Perfect. I needed to respawn anyway.
I crushed you.
You did. You demolished me.
Wow.
Your first time on Vala.
I don't know if I even need lessons.
All right, let's get you into a Hero League match.
There you go.
Let's see how you do. So as I respawn here, I will come back into lane. And basically, that is the benefit of, staying on your side, is that it is harder to kill you. You have more safety to run under towers if necessary. There is also, you also open yourself up to more ganks. So if you can kind of think about it, there's a vent up here. I guess you can't see my pings, but
yes,
at the very top, that will block vision, so you can't see anybody on the other side of that. I assume you're on the other side, but I don't know this.
Right, so that's
just kind of derping around here, just killing lanes, not really paying attention, not looking at my.
I run out and I'm like, oh, ah.
Exactly. I'm panicking because I don't know what to do, and I'm too far forward.
And you haven't done one of these good training sessions.
Yeah, you may not know.
Right, and you can see above my character right here the little eye. That means you are hidden. And you can tell where your particular fog of war, so to speak, is, where you can't see. So you can do some so you can do some basic math and figure out what can see you, so forth and so on.
Exactly. And looking at your minimap is one of the best ways to prevent yourself from being ganked. So there will always be 5 members on the enemy team. That is standard. There will always be 5. If you can only see 3, you may want to be worried. If you can only see 4, you still may want to be worried. But I always try to say, if I can see 5, I'm a little okay moving past the mid line.
Right.
But to start out, just stay behind that mid, and you should be fine. You should avoid ganks. But you should also, if you would like to gank an enemy, say you were in top lane and you're pushed up all the way to the wall, I know I can come in behind you and kill you because you're so far pushed up.
Right.
However, in the early game, a hero kill is not worth the same amount of XP as a minion wave.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know.
It's in the very early game. I think it's between roughly levels 1 to 5.
Okay.
A hero kill is not worth a minion wave. So, ideally, what I would do in that situation, if you were pushed all the way up, is I would clear my wave rather quickly, and then I would immediately, once that wave is gone, and before the next wave comes, I'd run up to top lane, try to get that gank.
Okay.
If it looks like I'm clearing this wave and you back off because you feel, like, oh, I've been up here too long, I have to get back, then it's just a missed gank. I still have the XP.
Right. Okay, got it.
Yeah, if I leave lane right now where there's a full wave and go down there and I still don't get the kill, that is you've lost out on 2 things of XP and basically cost yourself, like, you're a level ahead right now. I'll catch up, but you're a level ahead.
Right. So it's all about that efficiency of making sure you don't ever waste too much time and things of that nature.
Correct. Yeah, and we'll kind of get into the value of like health and mana, what to trade off in order to clear a wave, a little bit in the conversation. It's going to be part of this lesson.
Awesome. Perfect. Exciting.
Yep. One other thing to talk about, just levels in general. I already talked about where those talent tier comes in, but the in-betweens, you will be 4% stronger. So you will have 4% more health, more mana, and more damage.
Okay.
Each level you gain. So from
4%.
8 to 9, you will gain 4% of that, ability power, or that power in general. So while being a level behind is not super detrimental, that is kind of a reason that you maybe not win a fight or win a 1v1 immediately.
Right.
It's because you may be one level down, which is a 4% difference.
Right. So especially if you're being styled on to begin with, if the team that's beating you is already going to have a 4% extra bonus, well, then maybe that's going to be spooky.
Or an 8 or a 3. Or I'm sorry, 12.
Okay, the 3 really caught me off guard. I was like, ooh.
My bad. I meant to multiply in my mind 3 times 4, but I just didn't.
It happens.
Yeah. But also those talent tiers are way more critical. So if you hit 10 before I do not want to fight. You want to avoid any time you are down a talent tier, avoid a fight.
Right.
As best as you can, so get behind that center line, stay safe. If you don't have vision of them, you're sunk, basically. Assume they are coming for you.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if you're about to get 10s. They will have it selected, they will be ready to use it. They're already in that set to we're gonna crush this person because we have our ultimate abilities.
Right. And especially as you first start out, you're maybe trying to figure out that choice. So even if you get 10s in the midst of the fight, that's going to be extra actions to load up your ultimate or whatever. What do they call it?
It's an ultimate ability.
Ultimate, okay.
It's a heroic ability.
Heroic ability.
And then your storm talents are 20, so it's Heroes of the Storm. That whole branding thing.
You got to get that branding thing. I love it. Yeah, in Dota, when you use your max ability, it's called a Dota.
It's called a Dota.
Yeah, you really...
It's a DO, so it's a doe.
Yeah.
And when you hit 20, it's
tuh. And then when you hit 25, it's 2. And the announcer really fucking loses their mind.
Yep.
Oh, God!
See? But you're 10s. You should totally... In that scenario, where I've got 3/4 health and you've got your 10s, you should totally be killing me.
Okay.
100% of the time. There you go.
Oh, God!
See? 10s are powerful.
And you didn't let me do that at all.
I didn't. I did have 3/4 health and engaged 9 to 10, so in theory I did. But if you think about it this way, you have 3 abilities to start out. If you have an extra one, that's an extra button to hit. That's a button I don't have, and that's an ability that I don't have and a source of damage. Or in that case, crowd control, which is called CC.
Gotcha.
CC can be a stun, a root, silence, or a displacement. Like if I had an ability to move you around. So that also counts as
which is confusing as hell. Like,
it is.
It's almost better against weaker opponents when you can put them somewhere they're not used to, because they're like, wait, why am I going the wrong way? And their brain fritzes out. But
precisely. It's also a matter of, if we assume the game is perfect in its matchmaking, again,
which
perfect world.
It is.
It's pretty good. It does a very good job pairing you against equally skilled people. If you can make it so the other player cannot sort of play the way they want to, then you're probably going to win. So if you stun me, I can't attack you. So if I'm just stunned, you're going to win.
Got it.
So that's a good way to kind of think about it when you're looking for talents or when you're looking to use abilities. If you think you can beat them, then use them.
I don't want to shoot you.
Why not? It's fun.
I feel like you're being so nice to me right now, and it seems rude to attack you.
It's all good. We're just here having fun. So are you kind of understanding how everything goes with like getting XP and moving forward through the kind of levels at a higher rate.
I think so, definitely. It's
Okay.
I guess you'd call it a very bottom of a barrel thing, but it's good to know the specifics because a lot of times these games have very much archaic, strange math in the background. So
Yes.
it's definitely good to hear that and the exact specifics.
Yeah. So now let's talk about sort of moving. So you can, and you've been doing this pretty well, attack moving. So for anybody that doesn't know, Heroes of the Storm is built off of the StarCraft 2 engine. So a lot of things are kind of baked in that's sort of leftovers or holdovers. So like in StarCraft, if you hit A and then click somewhere with your left mouse, you will basically move to that position, but then stop to attack the next closest thing.
Interesting.
Also, if you would like to move, you can just right-click somewhere on the map and then hit S. And that will stop you whenever you... That's basically to stop you, but it will also attack the next thing in range. So
Okay.
that's a good way to keep moving. And I find that easier than move, A-click, move, A-click.
So click S?
So left click to move somewhere and then hit S. And you will attack the next thing. There's nothing in range at that point.
As you wish.
Is that working out for you? Or is that...
I'm a little confused by it.
Yeah, so check your hotkeys and should be under hero management. I think is where I saw it last. Or it's under hero abilities.
Hero abilities?
Is where your attack is. Yes.
Attack.
So for instance,
I don't have a
yeah.
hotkey.
Okay. Then it's mapped to your A. This is also something I really encourage. Maybe just if you're starting out and new to this game, if something's not working for you, kind of how they have it set up initially, go in there and try to change it. For instance, my attack is on my forward mouse button. And that basically allows me to alternate my fingers where like I move and then I hit attack without having to move my I have my ring finger on my Q.
Got it.
So my ring finger is always on my Q rather than moving the ring finger from A to Q to hit an ability.
So this whole attack moving is very important.
It is something that will get you... I think it's better to start it early. Because then you will bake in that muscle memory, those good mechanics from
Right.
an early stage. And
Yes, yeah.
That is a hurdle that I've had to overcome. I honestly think attack moving got me up from silver into gold.
Interesting.
Other things were a factor to it, but it definitely helped me. It made my silver games easier.
Got it.
So the reason why it makes things easier is because now it's harder for you to hit your skill shots on me. If I'm moving around constantly, you can't position your AoE correctly or how you may want it. And I've lost the first fort of the game.
Nice job,
So
me.
now you are a talent tier ahead. Oh, actually, this is a great time to bring this up. That fort went down. You were not in range for the XP,
Oh no.
but structures are different.
Okay.
Structures will give you XP no matter what. So you don't have to be there. For instance, at mid, this is going to be taken down, and you're going to get the XP for it. Whether you were right there or not, you still got that XP. So by pushing a wave out and letting it go and take down a building, that is very valuable if you are forced to sort of leave the wave, after you clear it.
Right, there's just less safe space for you.
I see.
Exactly. And you're not going to, for instance, you're not going to, oh, misread you there. I'm not going to get that wave of XP top that it's going to, basically, if my minions were there, they were going to kill your minions.
Right.
I wasn't going to get that XP. But once they were done with your wave, I was definitely going to get the XP for that building because they would take it down. Yep. So that's a good little sidebar that kind of came up actually organically. I didn't expect that for it to go down.
Well, I like that. I think I'll need a little more practical knowledge of that, because right now I'm used to the what's the word I'm looking for, stutter step movement of a MOBA, and I guess I realized I never really did it all that much in Heroes, and I think that will be good to know.
Yeah, and every character is different in terms of their attack animations. And Vala is actually unique, where her attack speed goes up, so your stutter stepping gets faster the more hatred she stacks. If you take the level 1 talent.
Got it. So I'm
compare your
on my
1 to
screen. I'm right now mostly just right clicking, then hitting S.
Yep, and that works, and that's one way to make it work out for you very well. Is finding a way. Like, people love a move just because they're old, it's ingrained into their muscles from StarCraft or whatever, or different MOBAs. I know a move is pretty common in those. So
I don't use it in Dota, but maybe it's a thing. I don't really know.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be.
I don't know. I don't play Dota. I've played maybe 2 games of it. But yeah. So I would encourage you all, if you are just beginning, while you're in practice, just try to find what works for you. I, for instance, have moved my ultimate ability, which is typically on R. I have moved that to my spacebar because it's easier for me to hit. Tim, as you can see on his lane, I know people get mad at me when they see my hotkeys.
Spacebar.
Yeah, because my thumb rests there. So I have ring finger on Q, middle finger on W, index finger on E, and my pinky just hangs off the keyboard, and then my thumb rests on spacebar.
What do you use to select your character?
I don't. I use unlocked camera, and I just keep my eyes out.
Do I use unlock camera? All right. Well, I think we. How about this? Let's save options for a chunk in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say
we could spend all day talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So next, what I want to talk about is who should lane. This is a very good portion to talk about because it is a 5-man team. However, not everybody is equipped very well to clear a wave quickly.
Okay.
I have selected both. I've selected Vala here because she has a good wave clear ability on her W.
Okay.
So what are you in mid or in top?
I'm on top.
Okay, this is a weird hide and seek scenario that I had not anticipated.
Well, you can stream snipe me for sure.
All right, let me even up this wave real quick just so we can get back to sort of mid balance.
Good, perfect. I love it.
Plus, I want to get all these gems. And your talent to your head of me. Gosh, I've been slacking.
And see up here again, I'm pointing at my screen, and that's not helping you. The 16 is glowing, so that's a quick reference as you're just starting off. Like, if you don't know the math of it, just quickly look.
Yeah, and what you can end up seeing is that basically, so right now, Tim burned both of your uses of your ultimate.
Okay. I did it.
Now, if you look at the top, it should have a respawn timer for it.
Yes.
On your screen, I believe. Yep, there it goes.
Yep.
So you can see your teammates' abilities, their heroic abilities, and how long they have. So again, we'll add that to a different lesson, but it is just a little handy thing to see. It's
okay.
Like, oh, they don't have their ultimate abilities.
Okay.
All right. Back to who should lane. I picked Vala because she has a very good lane clear ability, which is her W. It's a AoE. It does a good amount of damage, but you will still have to auto attack and clear the wave. That is not the only way to do it. I encourage everybody to auto attack minions no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're playing a mage or a warrior who typically don't hit as hard as an auto attack assassin like Vala does. Okay. So I'm doing 243 damage. That's not typical of like a support. Support may end up doing at level 16 like 120, 130-ish. It's different for every character.
Right.
But in order to conserve your mana and conserve your cooldowns, auto attacking a wave is kind of the way I go to. It's my default. Now, if we are in this scenario, I throw out my W, I hit you, and I hit the wave. That is good value. That is worth my mana. That is worth the cooldown.
Okay.
It's hitting you. Because there's not no like regen items or anything like that. You have a little bit of regen, but most assassins don't have high regen ability for their health. You will be forced to eventually hit your well that you have.
Yes.
And scenario. My wave is just pushing still, and I've decided to start hitting you.
Yes.
So the wave will take care of itself. I'm still within range of XP, but I'm hitting you and maybe encouraging you to, like in that scenario, you took me down, you killed me.
Yeah, because I'm good.
Exactly. Now I'm missing out on XP because I'm not there.
And
you're gaining XP.
And critical map-based objectives or whatever.
Yeah, in this scenario. In addition, now you have kind of free reign to clear the wave as quickly as possible if you choose to.
Okay.
On other abilities, on other characters, it is not worth using your, it may not be worth using your abilities to try to clear the wave faster if it's not like a specific AoE damaging spell.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of a good example here. Tyrande. So you've played Tyrande quite a bit.
Yes.
She's got
well, no, not really. I'm very bad with her.
Okay, but you know her basic ability to stun an enemy in an area effect. It's her E. It just drops down from the sky. It does a good amount of damage, but you don't want to burn that cooldown on a minion wave because, yes, it will stun them, but there's nothing to do for it. Like, it'll do a little bit of damage, but it won't clear the wave significantly faster than auto attack.
It's not worth the mana you're using and the potential if a battle breaks out, and here I am with my important skill gone away, right?
Exactly. And, that is oftentimes your escape, your stun, is the way you get away from people and basically don't die, is by stunning somebody so you have enough time to get out of there.
Perfect.
So some abilities you may not want to use on a wave. Generally, if you have an AoE, ideally you hit the wave as well as the enemy. And that is why stutter stepping is very important, because if you can basically make it non-ideal for them.
Here I am. Did I surprise you?
You did. You kind of came up from a weird angle. But this is actually a good kind of example. Run back to me. You're going to die here, but run back to me.
Oh!
Hold on.
My 84 fucking things.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill you.
Oh.
But it's for purposes of learning.
You've bested me.
So if I clear a wave, I wanted actually the wave to kill you rather than me.
Well.
It's fine. I can still explain it. The wave, if an enemy is in range, will attack the next thing in range.
Yes. Okay.
Which in that case was you.
Yeah.
So, ideally, I throw out an AoE, it clears part of the wave, or the wave kills the wave completely. My wave then sees you as the next target and begins attacking you.
Yeah.
So that is extra poke damage that I'm not putting out, and is basically free to me.
And can you quickly explain what you mean by poke damage?
Poke damage.
I know what you mean. But...
Sure. So poke damage is damage that you do that has sort of a lasting effect. It is not a skill shot that you use. It's mostly just auto attacks, and it's little damage to make it harder for them to continue to lane and maybe force them to use a well or go back to base.
So it's almost like a slowly over time poking down their health, not to like try to gank them. And ganking, I mean, we're kind of going back and forth between extremely basic terms and so forth. I think if you play many of a MOBA, you know what ganking is, but poking and or chip damage or whatever, it's just, whittling away so that eventually in 2 minutes I'll have to make a decision.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You will have to make a decision. Maybe it will pull somebody up from a different lane, which will make that matchup better or something along those lines. Yep. It's basically to make you uneasy.
Yes, and all MOBAs are mostly a mind game. Of course, you want to somehow play at the top of your potential level, but, if you can break your opponent's spirit, isn't that easier?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, going back to that kind of same point of we're all equally skilled, the game sees you. So if I can put you on tilt, as people like to say, where I get you thinking about something that is not, I have to position my Q correctly,
Yeah.
Getting you to worry about positioning your Q as well as your low health pool and how do I have to move to dodge.
So I'm like freaking out, and I can't hit my friggin' R. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? I'll cast it here. And you did run into it. I did get lucky. But, you know.
I apologize. I did not see the point you were setting up until it was too late.
Oh, whoa, I gotta be able to hit you. Oh, no. No! Yes. Man, we really we showed them.
It was a good example. So yeah, there's the poke damage. The lane will collapse if there's nothing left in range. So that could be potentially, that is a little bit more of a, you don't necessarily go for it, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't, it's a nice benefit. However, it is not my first objective when I am laning.
Did you say yet? I'm sorry if I got distracted. People are asking what my mouse setup was. Because on my screen it says Xbox 2 and Xbox One, which are my mouse buttons. So I have my Q and my W to my mouse buttons. But did you say, ideally, when you're in lane, if you're by yourself or if you're against someone else, let's say a 1v1 or whatever, and my assumption is it's going to be completely different for a million different scenarios. Where do you want the creep wave to be? Like, are you always trying to push, or what?
I am always trying to push that wave.
Okay, that's 100% different than Dota, so that's good to know.
If I am 1v1 with somebody, I will always try to push that wave forward, because that will end up draining the tower ammunition.
Tower ammunition. Yes.
Which will open up the map at a later time. Because there's no benefit to me denying creeps, because if it's going to the wall, you're going to get the XP. You have, in Heroes of the Storm, you have significantly less denial tools, I believe, instead of just outright killing somebody. That's about the only denial you really, at the end of the day, have.
Right.
So if it's a 1v1, I'm always trying to push that wave.
Got it.
If it is, for instance, a 2v1 where there's two against me, I am trying to clear the wave and not get killed. And that is actually the biggest thing, is you don't want to die. Again, XP is not, of a hero kill is not significantly large, like levels 1 through 5, but you still don't want to give them XP.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a bad tactic to do. So if you're outnumbered, play safe. If you are outnumbering somebody, clear the wave aggressively and try to work in more poke damage. Because you have another source of damage that's probably going to be hitting the lane at some point, you guys can kind of share that burden of, okay, I'm going to put in a little poke damage, I'll put in a little damage to the wave, and it kind of equals out.
Yes.
So going back to who should lane. I think this was a point I began way long ago. Everybody needs to lane. You need to cover all 3 lanes. You have 5 people. At most, there's going to be 3 lanes on this map. You need at least one person in each of those lanes.
To soak up that beautiful, beautiful experience.
Exactly. You want to get that sweet, juicy, illustrious experience. The person whose job it is the least is a support.
Okay.
Support should never, in an ideal world, should never be in lane by themselves.
Right. Because they're just babies that could be really slurped up.
Correct. And at the end of the day, the reason you pick support is because you wanted to heal your teammates and keep them in a fight longer. If there's nobody around you, you're not doing the primary function of your role, which is supporting other players. So think about it that way.
Yes, that makes sense. I mean, it's right there in the name.
Yeah. The other way you should divide up who is in a lane is based off of wave clear. So, like I was saying earlier, Vala has a W, which is good AoE. Any AoE is good wave clear, as long as it hits minions. It's maybe not worth it to use it, but you want to have, you want to have kind of one ability that will be able to clear a wave somewhat effectively, I would say, starting out. Characters that have an immense amount of wave clear, Zool is God tier when it comes to clearing waves quickly. Right,
and so that's the basic gist. Because I know whenever I start out, it's like, where do I go? And so it sounds like the answer is, if you're playing support, go with someone who's not boss as hell at clearing waves by themselves. Okay.
Because you want to be able to kind of work in your auto attacks and provide some extra damage or keep them safe because they are going to be in lane longer because they have a lower wave clear.
Right.
So let me ask you this question: you've played Lieutenant Morales before, correct?
Yes, I like her a lot because she's hard to figure out all the mana management, I guess you'd say, as opposed to my other boys who feel roughly easier for some reason. I don't know why.
Just swimming in mana.
Swimming in mana, exactly. She's great at healing, but my other strong heal people, I don't know, feel different.
Yeah, exactly. And you also play Stukov, correct?
I'm terrible at Stukov, but yes.
But you've played him. And
yes.
You know his abilities.
Yes.
So if you have a Stukov and a Morales on your team, and say your tank in one of your assassins is top lane, so you have 2 lanes that are empty, who should go? The Stukov or the Morales to cover a lane by themselves?
Wait. So for some okay, so one of those two have to go by themselves, right?
Correct. It's unideal. It's not
It sucks.
a perfect world. Yes, it sucks. You should basically ask nicely in chat, hey, can somebody go to a different lane?
So step 1, obviously, flame the hell out of chat. But step 2, if you have to fix the situation, I gotta go with Stukov, my boy Stuki.
That's correct.
Yes.
Can I ask you why?
Couple reasons. Well, mostly you gave me an easy one because Morales has literally 0 damage in the game. She has no damaging abilities. She doesn't have a right click. When she's near an enemy, all she can do is heal them. She walks up and she actually takes some of her armor off too, which is weird. I didn't really understand that. I'm kidding, of course, but no, Stukov has damage and Morales doesn't.
Correct. You should also be looking at abilities and then the healing abilities. So those are they're the same thing, but they're different. So Stukov's ability has an AoE, silence, but it also does damage.
Yes.
And he also has like one of the highest basic attacks of any support.
Yeah.
And he's stronger than some assassins and like most tanks at level 1.
Yeah, when I realized how much damage it did, I'm like, yo, is this broken?
Yeah, he's got a very gross arm and it gives him a lot of attack damage.
It's very slow, but if you're kind of doing that stutter step thing and you just like mix it in, it's pretty good.
Yep. And then Morales cannot heal herself. Morales has no ability to issue heals to herself. She has to heal somebody else.
Right.
So
and again, we're talking at the very beginning, so people who play like, well, later Morales gets blah, blah, blah. No. We're talking... Because again, the whole thing with MOBAs, right, is when you first start playing, you don't want to look like an ass. So it's so stressful to be like, hey, where should I go? Or it's literally like you're asking, like, how do I Heroes of the Storm? So if you can get rid of, like, these initial... hurdles, then you're going to look less stupid and your team won't automatically flame you. So, like, even though I've played tons of games, I've never played by myself. And now that you are actually teaching me, I feel like I'm starting to be less afraid. Phil, I think we should chunk this episode off in just a second. Is there anything else you think for this little section? I don't want to make it less organic. We've already done that, and I am sorry. But,
that's completely fine.
Yeah.
So let me do a quick little recap just at the end of the video. If you have about 20 seconds before your game starts, here's what you need to know.
Okay.
Clear waves to get XP. Clear safely. Stay behind that mid line if you can't see anybody on the mini-map. Mm-hmm. Point number 3, look at your mini-map. That is essential to seeing and viewing where things are. And actually, my core's dying, so this is the perfect time to end it. And
I won!
For joining us.
God damn, I'm good at this game.
There we go.
What a natural and organic thing that happened. That's very strange.
Yep. It's almost like I'm concentrating too much on talking and not actually on the game.
Yeah, almost.
Okay, so...
You're on point 3. Is there any other points you wanted to say?
Those were the big 3.
Okay.
Clear XP, clear safely, look at your minimap.
Yep, and I think if you start with those things, eventually you will be able to break down more specific reasons like, oh, here's what I've actually learned from looking at the minimap. You can't always know what it is until you know what it is. Phil did say earlier, if there's 2 people on the map, that's a little scary. If there's 5, it's not scary at all. Stuff like that. So yeah, we're gonna do several more of these. We've just scratched the surface because MOBAs are deep. Even if you're a hipster that thinks Heroes is for babies and casual, whatever, this is deep as hell as well. So even though if you think it's a baby game, it's still deep as heck. So thank you, Phil. We're gonna chunk this right up here. What are we gonna talk about next? Can I ask?
We will be talking about objectives and timing with those.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much. And this is Chapter 1 of Babies of the Storm. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
Oh, where can we find you on Twitter?
Oh, on Twitter, I am @Canada_Philip with 2 L's.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good one.